Please subscribe for similar stories like this. Now let's get to the story. In today's video, too many people think I am a store employee. Still receiving calls on my dead grandpa's phone for a job he never had. Do I look like I work here with my hair? Honestly, I had too many bad experiences that people mistakenly think I was one of the store employees, and now I am kinda scared of going to the mall now. I need some advice/help so I won't get bugged again. Crying face. Since everyone likes stories, I'm going to share some typical experiences I had every time I went to the mall, and you guys can be the judge. Retail, location, Saks. Outfit, dressing pants, cashmere coat, high neck top, flats, a tote. I was shopping for some new clothes after work. I prefer to browse around and pick a bunch of items to try all in once, instead of going back and forth to the fitting room. I greeted the sales lady and told her I would like to just browse around alone for now, and if I decided to buy anything, I would let her know so she wouldn't miss her commission. She left me alone politely. So I picked about 7 to 9 pieces and was about to go to the fitting room. A lady possibly in her 40s came up to me and started checking the clothes I picked. She then, literally, without an excuse me or anything, took 2 blazers from my hand. She then asked a fitting room to try them on while I was still in shock. Because I was in shock, she thought I didn't understand English, so she repeated again in a louder and slower tone with a hint of condescending attitude. At that point I became annoyed and felt extremely uncomfortable, so I asked her if she could give me the blazers back and look for things herself. She got mad and told me that I was a lazy employee and wanted to file a complaint with the manager. She left, but she told me she was going to find a supervisor to file a complaint against me. I rolled my eyes and then went to try on the clothes. I decided to keep one of the blazers, but I needed a size bigger, so I had to came out of the fitting room to try on that one blazer. As I was putting the blazer on, that lady showed up with a guy appears to be the supervisor/manager. The lady pointed her finger at me and said, "She is trying the clothes on during the working hours, doesn't wear uniform." She even told me to leave her alone. The supervisor looked at me and told the lady, "I am sorry, but she is a customer, just like you." I don't know if she felt embarrassed or was in denial of the truth. She just walked away without even apologizing to me. The staff supervisor apologized to me and offered me a courtesy gift. I was eventually feeling okay, but seriously, I don't get people. Small business/boutique stores location, one of the local bookstore/gift shop. My outfit: sandals, cut-off shorts, crop top, crossbody bag. The plan I had for that day was to outline some parts of my project and then look for something new to read. While I was reading the introduction of a book, a kid approached me and asked if I knew where blah 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 is. I politely told him I had no idea what item that was and hope he could eventually find the item. Somehow the kid told his dad that the sales lady didn't want to tell him where the item was. The dad of course came up to me and rudely asked what was my problem. "If you don't want to offer customer service, you should consider changing your career plan." He said that to me and then demanded me to apologize to his son. I told him my career plan was fine because I didn't work here. He raised his voice and said I was lying, demanding to talk to the owner of the store. The owner came to us from the cashier registration after he overheard that guy wanted to talk to the owner. That guy shared his view of me with the store owner passionately. The owner listened and figured out the drama. He told that guy that I was a customer, not an employee. The guy didn't even apologize to me after the fact was told to him. Instead, he asked the owner and me to apologize to his son because his son deserves an apology. The owner was just shocked by this guy, so he suggested that guy should try other stores and they may want his business. That guy finally left and the store owner offered me a coupon for the drama I went through in his store. Isn't carrying a purse a clear indication that person doesn't work here? In the end, those are my typical experiences when I go to the mall or stores. The retail ones are usually really bad for me as I got mistaken as an employee almost every single time. Apologies in advance if this is not the average "I don't work here" story that ends with the evil entitled supermarket Karen/chat arrested, with cheers and applause from the crowd. Also, I don't live in an Anglophone country, so apologies in advance also for my usage of the language. My granddad died a few months ago, in the very end of September. Everyone in the family is still very sad. He was beloved by all of us. My mother in particular still hasn't quite gotten over it. For example, she still has his cell phone, always charged, in case that anyone calls. My granddad knew a lot of people, and worked in different countries, so he had lots of acquaintances and friends who still live abroad who we couldn't track down to tell them the bad news. However, other than the occasional old friend, most calls on that phone come from people seeking legal translations. This is rather weird, since my granddad never worked in such a field, but apparently someone wrote the wrong number on the tribunal's webpage of another city, and while it was removed, this number is probably still available somewhere else because people keep calling. These calls are usually quite hard to conduct, because many people who are in need of a legal translation are newly immigrated people who do not in fact speak, either at all or in a comprehensible enough way, the language, but they almost always end with them understanding and often saying nice words of condolences and apologies for the mistake, not even theirs. However, the true "I don't work here" story starts here. I pick up the phone, and a loud man tells me right away, without greetings or anything, that he needs a legal translation ASAP because he needs to travel, didn't quite get the mechanics, and I'm not even sure he understood those either, so he needed my email to send me the file. Spoke fluently the language with a local accent, clearly one of those sovereign citizens that fit on bestuff legal advice, not an immigrant seeking help to not be kicked out unceremoniously. When he is finished talking, I politely tell him that it was the wrong number, and that he should call someone else. To which he replies that I must be mistaken, because my number was on that list. At that point I was a bit surprised and replied to him that I knew my job definitely didn't involve translations of any sort, nor wasting my time answering entitled and rude assholes. At that he got super mad, started yelling, so I just turned off the phone call. I wrote down the phone number, and I didn't answer to it anymore, the next 2 times he called. After a couple hours, another number calls. This time, a woman. Clearly pissed, she too starts demanding stuff without a word of greeting. After she is finished speaking, I tell her politely once again the things I said to the first man, and she gets mad too, out of the blue. Guess what? She was the wife of the first man, who pretended to know nothing, who just called to see if I was bluffing or whatever and wanted the chance to yell at someone, apparently. So I told her that it was good finding that assholes married each other, that they could go fuck off together somewhere else, and I turned off the call. At that point they both kept calling, so I started picking up just to shut the call after they said a couple words. Of increasing madness, I could hear their voice getting high-pitched, broken and raspy, and I swear I could have heard their veins popping, and after a while I guess they got bored, or had a stroke, or whatever, and stopped calling. So yeah, I wasted some time, mine and theirs, got my liver rotten as we say here, and nobody was happy. What is wrong with people being rude from the first second, not even greeting, and getting mad for no reason? Some background: I, 27F, used to work in retail for 8 years, so I know I have that retail face which often makes people to think I am possibly a worker. Often when they ask me something, they realize pretty quickly I don't work there and apologize. I also have big issues with being touched by random strangers out of the blue due to past abuse, and my body goes into fight/flight mode, so I always keep my earbuds in anytime I go out on my own, and for the most part people leave me be, which does also help with the retail face. At the time of this incident, I didn't have a job. I blame you, COVID. I had a major quarantine moment where I shaved half my head and dyed it lavender. This is important. Story time. I head out to Waldo's World. You know what store, not saying the actual name, put my earbuds in and get to the bi-weekly shopping. I'm at the end of my trip, so I stop off in the water aisle. As I approach the bottled water, there's an elderly couple with the husband struggling with a pack of water, so I go over asking if I could help. I grew up learning to always offer help. They were embarrassed by it but accepted the help, to which I went ahead and placed the case in their cart. After some thanks they left, and I went to pick up my own case to bring to my cart. I hear over my shoulder, "Hello, could you help me find something?" Thinking they were trying to get the attention of an employee nearby, I ignored the comment and start heaving the case into my cart. All of a sudden I feel a hand grab my shoulder hard with "Now you listen to me," yelling in my ear, and whip me around. The force causes my other hand to slip from the case and to pull hard on my shoulder, the shoulder that was pulled, and the case crashes to the ground. I go into defensive mode, shaking with tears in my eyes and clutching my shoulder, as I come face to face with a middle-aged woman with a mask hanging off her ear. She was blinking at me like I just kicked her puppy. "What the FK? What reason did you have to touch me?" The woman scoffed. "Finally I have your attention. Now you can finally help me find the garbage bags." I cut her off. "You stupid BH. Do I look like I work here? I have a shaved side and lavender hair. Even so, what gives you the damn right to touch anyone, even an associate, in the way you did?" A manager is now running down the aisle with a security guard. "What's the problem here?" The woman points at me. "I was just asking her to help me and she just threw this case of water at me. I want her arrested." The manager looks at me. I'm wearing matching black tank top, yoga pants, face mask and Converses, then at the woman. "Lady, calm down and stop yelling. She clearly doesn't work here and you just assaulted this girl. We're gonna check the cameras and call the police, then we'll see who is gonna be arrested. The security guard then escorts the irate woman up front while calling for the police while the manager helps me get my things to the front. Police and ambulance arrive, check me out, just a bruise that at the time was starting to form and a few scratch marks from her nails, but I was way more shaken up from being touched and yelled at. Checked the security cameras, then asked if I wanted to press charges. I of course said yes. The older couple had come up front and, after seeing me with the cops, came to see if I was okay. I assured them I was okay and apologized if they heard my foul mouth. The older woman said, "No need, sweetheart, I would have done the same thing and she deserved to hear it." That took me a bit off guard, but it gave me a good smile. The police let me go after I fully calmed down, saying they would be in touch, as they took the woman down to the station. After I got checked out with the older couple, I followed them to their car and helped them get their groceries in the car, despite my shoulder, then parted ways. I've had quite a few "I don't work here" lady run-ins, but never to where someone was this extreme. Thank you for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.